Remember my final thoughts during the first lecture? For those of you who were there, I spoke about the power of one. Do not ignore the power of one. Great changes happen one person at a time. And so you need to be secured enough to appreciate your efforts. For one person you are transforming, start with your family members, start with colleagues and friends that you left back home, start with someone who you can inspire. You see, big is small plus small plus small. Sometimes when you engage in over bloated projects, it ends up discouraging you. You see, it's wiser and better to start gradually and then build momentum. That's how even revolution starts. It starts with an individual, and then you gather a few people, you build momentum, then you begin to secure the backing of a lot of other people, maybe pressure groups, religious organizations, and so on and so forth. And then I would give you a disclaimer: in bringing any idea, particularly to the African soil, make sure it does not infringe on the fundamental human rights of the people, because Africa is becoming increasingly sensitive, particularly to matters of religion and so on and so forth. For instance, Boko Haram, you know what that means? It means education is prohibited. That's what Boko Haram means. When you come in with an educational project, they ask you need to be guided. You can literally be slaughtered and killed somewhere just because you are bringing Western education. Because extremist Islam thrives on ignorance, and education creates enlightenment. So the moment you want to enlighten the people, the drivers of this false practice become insecure, and without any sense of sympathy, they eliminate those who try to drive this because of course you know that in many wrong teachings in Islam, they believe that their concept of right is anything that advances Islam, not just good or bad. So if I kill you and the motivation is to advance Islam, I'm commended for that. So with that kind of ideology, they will maim and kill and destroy people. You set up a warehouse, for instance, they can come and burn. His house was burnt. Am I right on that? Was it you?
No, it was his friend. It wasn't me.
Wasn't you, your friend,
Yeah.
whose house was burnt one time during the crisis? I come from the middle belt, Jos particularly, Plateau State, and I witnessed a number of the crises before I moved to Kaduna, and I saw, it's not, you have nails before you, I shouldn't create any graphic image that you may not want, but I've witnessed firsthand the cruelty that comes from ideology. So you want to come up with things that even those who advocate religious freedom, they do that from other nations, and they use the power of the media. You know why? Because if you are domiciled within the African soil and you're not careful, some of these advocates are leaders who are in power themselves. So they are able to work with the security agents, they will fish you out and they will kill you. This is the sad reality of the world that we live in today. But then network among yourselves, start, advocate whatever change, articulate your value very clearly, and then begin to define pathways, and then connect with people. The world works now based on connection. You'll be amazed. I'm not scaring you with all the pictures. They are wonderful people. There are all kinds of groups and advocacy platforms that will be more than glad to partner with you. And of course, nations like the government in America and other nations, they have quotas of investments that they support people. You find ways of securing those investments. Thankfully, you're Harvard, so you have a leverage. There are people who can help you to secure some of these things. But you want to change Africa, ultimately, pray. Don't forget that. Pray. Pray for Africa. Pray that God will raise sound leaders. I believe with all my heart that in our lifetime we're going to see the Africa of our dreams. Amen. I believe this. It is not impossible. I don't think we're going to see the kind of technological advancement that makes Africa suddenly become Dubai. I doubt. Suddenly become America. I doubt. But in terms of ideological transformation, I think there will be great improvement. There is a generation that is becoming increasingly tired of norms that are not profitable, and individuals. And as the world begins to broaden the rights of people, people are being able to speak out now and have freedom. There are all kinds of pressure groups that work with governments. Today, if someone is victimized, he can go online and pressure groups can put pressure on the government to say, don't victimize that woman, don't victimize that person, and they can even be taken out of that nation. So those changes are positive, and I believe that within the next 5 to 10 years, there'll be greater platforms that can stimulate these changes at a macro level. For now, keep your vision, keep that which you're doing, and then your leaders within the campus, whether religious or not, serve, give your best within the time you have to stay at Harvard. And for those of you who remain in America here, know that you've been called to be global, change your world. Those of you who are coming to Africa, come with a renewed mind, not just to be soiled back into your old ideology, but to be above the system and then to cause changes. Thank you so very much.